Okay, let's give Saturday the 31st a shot. Um, our main focus is going to be on these couple of shapes here in the middle. You'll see that there's a lot of these little mini L's, and we always know we can X out the fourth of that 2 by 2 square whenever we know there has to be a star in a little mini L like that. So when we do that, um, we also have one here. So the way this shape now splits out after putting that X in there, you need one of these three, but we also need one of these two, so we can actually cross both of those out, which turns this shape into a similar mini L here and mini L here, so we can cross those guys out. The next thing I notice, this is another smaller shape. You can kind of split this into a 2 by 2 here and a larger L here. At most, you'd get one star in this 2 by 2, so you must have at least one star here. So this cannot be a star because it would eliminate all of those. So when I look at these two shapes in the middle, it's kind of a 4 by 4 square. We've X'd out some other squares from different shapes. So within this 4 by 4 square, you're going to have exactly 4 stars, 2 for each shape. So I wondered, are there any star locations that are prohibited because they wouldn't allow the placement of all 4? Namely, one of these kind of middle squares might eliminate too many other boxes. If we look at this square here, if this were a star, it would eliminate this whole edge here and across here and up here, and you'd really only have a spot for one star here and one star here. So this cannot be a star. Okay, so now we've broken this shape up. You have this mini L, and then you have this 1 by 2. If there has to be a star here, then there can't be one here or here. Okay, so if we look at the bottom 3 rows, we need 6 stars, and there's only 3 shapes that touch those bottom 3 rows. So we would need 2 for here, 2 in here, and 2 in here. So that means for this shape, we can eliminate all of these that go above that line, this 3rd row, and then we can also eliminate these guys because, again, we need 6 for these bottom 3 lines. So now as I look at the first 2 rows, I know that 2 of those stars in the top, 2 of the 4 in the top 2 rows will come from this shape. At least one would have to come from this shape, because you could have one here, but at least one would have to be here. So at most, you would have one in these 7. Okay, so you're going to at least have one of these 5, which means I can X this guy out here because it would eliminate all 5 of those squares. I only have 2 options on this row. This will be a star, one of these 2 will be a star, so we can eliminate above and below. We have our first star there. Okay, coming back to this shape down here, you might have one star here. You will definitely have at least one star here, maybe 2, but at least one, so I can X out this square here. So coming across these 2 rows here, I've got maybe 1 star here, 2nd star here, that's 2, a 3rd star here is 3, and one of these 2 will be a star, so I can X this out. Okay, one tricky bit of logic here, coming back to these center squares. I did the reverse of the sometimes you think if you know there's one star in a group of three, you can kind of X out above and below. Well, what if we have these two squares here where there could be stars? If this were a star, it would eliminate both of those. So if this were a star, neither of these could be. And could this grouping still survive and have four stars in it? The answer is no, because if neither of these were a star, then both of this shape stars would come from this row here, two of these three. And any placement of two of these three would eliminate both of these squares for this shape, and then you'd be left with just one 1x2 area for two stars. So we know that this cannot be a star. Okay. These top two rows again, the four stars now, by eliminating this guy, the four stars required for these two rows would be just from these two shapes. So A, none of these can be stars, and B, we actually know where these two stars have to be. And now we kind of know what this one looks like a little bit more. And we know where this guy goes. Okay. We need two stars in this shape still. One would be up here, one would be down here. Kind of know what that looks like. One of these two, one of these five. It starts to actually flow pretty well from here. Kind of breaks it open. Let's see. One of these three, so not this one. I'm tired, or I'd see this all quicker. This row's done. One of these three. Let's see. Okay. It's got to be one of these two. The second one's here, so it's not there. It's got to be here. Has to be. There we go. Hope that helps.